Good afternoon, Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com here with your Hurricane and Hurricane HD video blog for Saturday, the 20th of October, 2012. Well, here it is, the MJO now in the areas where we look for development in Phase 1, and it's going to be hanging around in this general vicinity for the next couple of weeks. Phase 1 and Phase 2 favoring the Western Hemisphere for tropical cyclone formation. If we look at the satellite photograph of the region, look at all this increase in convection across the Atlantic basin, and this is directly attributable to the increase in the favorable upward motion pattern across the tropics here. And that's exactly what the MJO pulse does, the wet phase of the MJO, allowing that tropical convection to more efficiently develop by having more divergent flow in the upper levels of the atmosphere, where the air is spreading out evenly and not off in one direction, what we call shear, and therefore you start to get this pretty big increase in overall convective coverage. And as such, we now have 99L in the Caribbean Sea, south of Hispaniola here. And then we also have 90L. We start over, remember, we go 90 through 99 on those little areas of investigation, as they're called. And this is insignificant, don't worry about it. It may develop down the road, but I doubt it. This is the bigger item of interest right now, and if we look at a visible satellite shot of it, you can see there definitely is starting to be some rotation to it, a little bit of a curvature. This is going to spread a lot of rain across this region right here over the next several days to almost a week. And in fact, if we look at the vorticity signature, a great tool from the University of Wisconsin website on tropical cyclones, you can see the energy starting to bundle down there. It looks nice and round. It's not all weird shaped like, let's say this piece of energy up here in Canada. We talked about this earlier with the last named storm, that you're looking for that rounded appearance of the vorticity signature, and 99L already has that. And you couple that with the very, very warm sea surface temperatures across this region, the heat content, look at this, large pool of very warm upper ocean heat content at the top of the scale there. That means that the water is not warm just at the surface, it's also down below 50, 100 meters or more. So you have that deep ocean heat content lying in the path of this system. Where's it going to go and how strong will it be? Well, the Euro and the GFS both agree that it'll move to the west-southwest a little bit over the next few days and then start to really take shape around 80 degrees longitude to the east of Honduras and Nicaragua. But then it's going to just kind of sit down there. This is 96 hours out. This is 120 hours, so this will be valid next Thursday. And the Euro showing it pretty close to Jamaica here. So a very rainy, squally pattern for Jamaica, eastern Cuba, Hispaniola, the southern Bahamas. Finally, by day 6, it tries to get up into the extreme southwest Atlantic. And then by day 7, a week away, it's going to take it a week to get out of this area, kind of doing a track like this. It's sitting in the southwest Atlantic and intensifying. A lot of the models, the computer models, suggesting that this could become a hurricane, hopefully after it gets out of the greater Antilles area, because it's going to bring, as you see here, a lot of rainfall. This is Hispaniola right here. Here is Jamaica, and here is eastern Cuba. This is valid also 72 hours out. Here's 96 hours. And you can see just a lot of rainfall down here spreading across the islands. Jamaica, eastern Cuba, Hispaniola, maybe even Puerto Rico, certainly the southern Bahamas, the Turks, the Caicos. You're going to want to watch this very closely. Also notice, too, pretty strong high pressure to the north and a pretty stiff east wind as a result of that. And the low pressure down below, that creates what's called a pressure gradient. But the difference between that high pressure and the low pressure over a fairly short geographic distance squeezes that air through the two, and so Florida's going to have some rip current problems, I believe, indirectly related to this system down here and the high pressure to the north putting the squeeze on, so be on the lookout for that. If we jump out here to day 6, this thing's going to be down there for a while, finally moving out of the Caribbean. This valid next Friday morning, intensifying just out of the Bahamas. Overall, pretty large area of low pressure. This should take over and probably become a hurricane as it moves on off to the northeast hopefully this pattern will hold. It's not entirely out of the realm of possibility that it can get stuck down here and then eventually turn northwest and maybe come back across like Wilma did in 2005. Although none of the computer guidance suggests that that'll happen. Most of the flow patterns from the models are indicating that enough of a deep trough will settle in to turn the flow like this. So whatever develops will get caught in that and hooked out to sea. It won't be able to get over here to the northwest Caribbean and be kicked out to the northeast at a higher latitude, affecting Florida. But I mention it as being an outside chance because this is still almost a week away, and you notice this is not that great a distance between where it shows it in 6 days and, let's say, South Florida. We're only talking about a few hundred miles total, and so you don't want to let your guard down. Certainly keep your eye on it and see what happens. And I'll be talking about it with you each day here on the discussion and on my blog post at hurricanetrack.com. All right, speaking of that, I am Mark Sudduth, hurricanetrack.com, my website. Check it out sometime if you haven't already. Always a privilege and a pleasure to produce these videos for you on Hurricane and Hurricane HD. Hopefully you learned something from them. I'll be back throughout the rest of the weekend to continue that as we watch what happens with 99L. I'll talk to you again tomorrow.